What's up, everyone? ADS Play 101 here, also known as ADS Play 202 on TikTok, and welcome to Vlog Style 202, my vlog series. And I'm here to propose the question: are there too many Souls games? I'm gonna make this quick. So at Gamescom, they announced a few games that kind of got my attention, and I'm just like, bro, we are going into a Souls game, a Souls-like overload, and it's kind of a bad thing in my opinion because when when you notice when something becomes a trend and it becomes successful, other companies will try to mimic that in hopes to capture that lightning in a bottle. When you look at, and I've stated this before, when you look at the anime arena fighters that have come out, a lot of games since the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm became obsessed with trying to capture that lightning in a bottle. They figured since Naruto was a popular anime and they made a video game about it, that's the formula to make a successful game, or at least something that's going to be around for a while. Because they still hold side tournaments and things like that for Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, or rather the latest one. But a lot of companies found out the hard way that they just weren't marketing the game right. It takes more than just looking at an anime, thinking you can make a game about that, and an arena fighter at that, and just push it out there to the world and think people are just going to accept it. That's the reason why you have so many games that flop. That was anime arena fighters, the first Demon Slayer game. Even though the Demon Slayer 2 looks like it's going to be more promising, even though I had my opinions about it and I said it was going to flop, they made it more akin to Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm and they marketed it towards the anime fans. So it looked like it might actually go somewhere, but it's still up in the air at this point. But regardless, the first Demon Slayer game, all of the My Hero Academia games failed miserably. Even the most recent Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi game, which is, of course, Sparkling Zero, that game, we ain't even heard no updates from that shit. The Bleach game, they just announced, a new DLC character for it, which is not very inspiring considering that we don't know if they're going to even continue supporting that game later on down the line. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, flop. The Kill la Kill anime arena fighter flop. And Jump Force failed, and just a bunch of other anime arena fighters that are just forgotten about because they didn't market it properly, and they didn't care to really putting something together that people will like, and that wasn't just a cheap cash grab because they thought this little simple of, oh, it's a popular anime so it should work as a game. You feel me? Take a look at all of the battle royale games that came out since Fortnite took off. It's a lot of it's a lot of battle arena games that came out since then that tried to capture that formula that Fortnite had, and most of those games flopped. I think Rumbleverse, that was one of them. Unfortunately, Rumbleverse was good, but it just didn't have, what I'm saying, it didn't have something that to keep it going. They just shut it down. Um, and there's several others because I don't want to make the game long going over it. I want to get to the point. Uh, and the same thing with Souls games. If you guys see what I'm saying, when something becomes a trend, it seems like the video game industry just gets stuck on that trend until it just burns out and fizzles out to the point where nobody wants to do anything with it anymore. Even when you look at MOBAs, like even though it wasn't the first MOBA, League of Legends is the most popular MOBA out there. And so many other MOBAs, even though they haven't failed, they haven't really, some of them are just trying to capture that lightning in the bottle. You know what I mean? They figure, oh, okay, if we do a MOBA, let's see if we make a MOBA like League of Legends or something similar to it, we can make it just as popular as League of Legends, or at least that's what they hope. I mean, we got a Dragon Ball Z MOBA coming out in sometime before the end of this year. We got a Pokemon Unite. That's a Pokemon MOBA. There's Mobile Legends. I think Dota is still a thing. I'm not 100% sure. I think people moved on from it. I mean, but people still playing. Too. I'm trying to think what other MOBA they have out there. Honor of Kings. I know that's still going. But it's just like almost like an overload. Luckily that's kind of like the end. But Souls games is really starting to take off. It's like ever since it's like ever since Wu Chang. I mean, of course, even before that, with the games like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, which is where I started playing Souls games from, Bloodborne, Lies of P, Wu Kang, Wu Kang, Wukong, and the list goes on. It's just a lot of Souls games coming out, and I like the genre. I really do like the genre. It does become addicting, but I don't want it to become so much to where that's all we see. And it's getting to that point where I'm starting to see like more and more coming out. Um, I just seen a few trailers of some of the games coming out, and it's like, bro, this is like 3 or 4 more Souls games coming out. Like we just got Wu Chang last month. Wu Chang just came out. Um, at Gamescom, they did a reveal trailer for La Divina Commedia, which is basically the Divine Comedy. If you remember I think back during the PlayStation, they had a game called Dante's Inferno, which was actually based on the Divine Comedy, which is a series that was written by. Now, correct me if I'm wrong about the name. Dante Alighieri, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He wrote this play, which is about him going into hell and visiting every circle of hell and explaining what each of those circles, which each of those circles represented and who they imprison at each circle. So this is kind of like a spiritual successor to that game. So out of all the other games I mentioned, this looks to be like the least Souls like, because I was wondering like whatever happened to a good old hack and slash. And this looks to be more like a hack and slash than a traditional Souls game, quote unquote. But still, we got Swords of Legends, which looks like it's going to be Souls like. It looked like it's going to be cool, but again, then we got another Black Myth coming out. The first one was Black Myth Wukong. This one is called Black Myth Zong Kui, which is supposed to be based on a scholar who, because of his looks, wasn't given proper recognitions. He was sent down to the underworld, and the boss of the underworld supposedly, I'm paraphrasing by the way because I don't know the mythology, but he supposedly got uh knighted in a sense to vanquish evil spirits because of how smart he was. Somebody correct me if I'm missing something. Then we got the Ghost of Yote coming out October 2nd supposedly, and it's just a lot of Souls games, man. Like it's a lot. Like, of course, I'm more than likely gonna play all of them, but I'm just like, damn, bro. I hope this, like, eventually, like, we're gonna have to get to a point where we're gonna need like a Souls break. Like, we're gonna need like a break from these Souls games and make us miss them a little bit. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's not so oversaturated with them. So that we're not so oversaturated and so smothered with Souls games. Like, I don't want that to become the case. Oh shoot, 'cause good. I think it's a very good genre, but I think it needs to be, don't abuse it. You know what I mean? Like, don't give us so much to where we just get burnt out and we don't want to play them no more. And then that's gonna put the genre, what I'm saying, in a bad place. So I'm just hoping more studios just stop after Ghost of Yote. We do not need another Souls game. We don't. We really don't. I mean, of course, the Black Myth that's coming out, I think next year, possibly. Swords of Legacy, Swords of Legends. That look like it's coming out next year. It's just a lot, bro. It's really just a lot. Yeah, like well, we do not need all these Souls games. After these next few, let's just take a break from Souls games, please. I'm begging the industry. Let's just stop. You know what I'm saying? Like give us like a almost like at least a whole year where a Souls game isn't being released. That's all I'm asking. Like just give us a break from it.